Alright, I'm Aaron from BA Cons coming at you from the End Zone Hobby Center, the gaming side, with Brant and Hunter. Now, these guys are experienced Warhammer 40k players, and they're going to be giving you a little bit of a tutorial today. What do you guys want to talk about first?
Well, we could go over the rules, we could go over our armies. I'm really good with anything.
Okay, and you?
Same.
Alright, well then we're just going to turn it to the table and let them take over.
I'll do the deep strike.
Okay, because my captain's just going to be with my squad. So.
Alright, pick up where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's both roll to see who sets it first. Alright,
I'll set up first.
Sounds good. So now what we're going to do is set up one unit taking turns until both sides are complete.
Alright, I'm going to set up my scout squad. 4 snipers and 1 rocket launcher.
Forget my psychic phase.
And then it will be your turn.
Yeah, they're hopping right now. I think they're might as well
So the first unit I'll be deploying will be my Emperor's Children Noise Marines. I'm going to be putting them up along this road.
Alright, and then I will be placing my Cataphractii Terminator armor.
Next, to give them some support, I'll be placing my Demon Prince of Slaanesh right there.
Hey, I killed 2 units already.
Then I will be placing my
Nope. If you table them, you automatically win.
Devastator squad with 2 las cannons and 2 missile launchers.
Because
well, also tough is 6, 7 wounds, 2 out, 4 balls.
he can't go through.
I forgot he was there.
The next unit I'll place will be a second squad of Noise Marines.
And now he can turn and go through.
I will then be placing
Moving a little bit.
1 tactical marine squad with the grab gun and power fist on the sergeant, a heavy bolter and a heavy slot, and then 3 bolt guns.
Very nice.
Outside of 1 inch.
Next up, I'll be putting
You're outside. No, you're now
my
inside.
Halberd of Slaanesh.
They won't, but if they do.
I'll be placing my librarian, who is my warlord, and has the warlord trait Gift of Foresight, and the artifact of the Vices for a Day.
Very nice. And then lastly, to finish up my setup, I'm going to put my Terminators into Deep Strike.
Okay, and what does all of that mean for the viewers?
Right. So it means that he's got a 6-up feel no pain, so if he gets wounded on a 6, he ignores it.
Okay.
And if I spend a command point on a 5-up, I get the command point back.
Okay, and explain command points.
So command points are what you get when you build the different detachments of your army. So I have a battalion, which is 5 command points plus 3 command points for being battle forwards. So that would equal 8. You use command points to use stratagems, rerolls, pretty much anything that helps boost your army to win the battle.
Okay, thanks for explaining that.
No problem. It's my turn, right?
Do not dare.
That's not even Pokemon Go at this point.
That's Pokemon no-go.
So I'm putting them into Deep Strike. So with my unit in Deep Strike, I'll be able to use that to put them closer to you on the second turn. That way they don't have to walk up the board.
Yes. I will be placing a 10-man tactical marine squad with a multi-melta and a melta gun.
Ooh, fancy.
And then the sergeant has...
What's the difference?
The difference is a melta gun is range 12.
Okay, so
And
you can shoot 12 inches
yes,
across the table.
and the multi-melta is range 24.
Oh, well, that's devastating.
Yes, and if you're within half range on both of them, you roll 2d6 dice and pick the highest to determine damage.
That seems like a viable tactic.
And then the sergeant's got a chainsword and a bolt pistol. And then we have a bunch of bolt guns.
Goes out successfully on 11.
Tried and true regular guns.
What's the chain sword?
The chainsword is a melee weapon that adds 1 to his attack characteristic. So from going from 2 attacks, he goes to 3 attacks if he uses the chainsword as his weapon.
Fantastic. All right.
And then my last unit would be my sanguinary apothecary.
Very nice.
Who, if a unit dies on a 4+, at the end of the movement phase, he can resurrect the fallen person.
So you can vote. I say yes. But
Alright. So, you've battled my army plenty of times before, but for letting them know, I've got my 2 squads of Noise Marines here. Each one is equipped with a Sonic Blaster, and 1 out of the unit is equipped with a Blastmaster. And the leader of each squad is a guy with a Sonic Blaster as well as bullhorns. I have my Hellbrute, who has a Heavy Flamer, which is nice because it's an auto-hitting weapon, and gives him some good close-range protection should somebody try to counter-assault him. He's mostly built for close combat. He has a Hellbrute Fist, which doubles his strength, and he has the Power Scourge, which gives him extra attacks. And then my Warlord is my Demon Prince of Slaanesh, and his Warlord trait will be stimulated by pain, so every time he suffers an unsaved wound, he gets an extra attack in a Righteous Fury.
Okay, so he's actually stronger as he gets hurt.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we so explaining the psychic powers, or are we going to wait till second phase to do that?
Let's wait till Psychic.
Alright. So now we will roll off. You will add 1 to your roll, and then we will see who goes first.
Yep, since I got to finish setting up first. Oh,
6.
I'm going to have to roll a 6 to beat you.
Nope.
Alright.
Do you seize? Because if you get a 6, you can take the turn from me.
Let's see. I do not.
Do not. So I will go first.
This is where things get scary.
Yes. Yes, it is. So, surprisingly enough, no one is going to move. We're just going to stay here, and we're going to get ready for the psychic phase.
Alright.
So my librarian, who is my warlord, has 2 psychic abilities. 3 if you count smite. He will cast one of his abilities on this tactical marine squad, which is called Shield of Sanguinius, which if you want to show the card, sure.
So he's not going to stay there, but he can totally fit through there.
yeah, the base, because the spikes on there don't count. The base does.
Which it goes off on a 6 and gives them a save that they can no longer go below 5. So on a 5 they would pretty much always save. It goes off on a 6, I roll a 10, I mean a 9, so it goes an 11, so it goes off. So I'll just put that card there to help me remember.
To pass the psychic test, all you have to do is roll 2 dice and score higher than what the warp charge level is on the card.
Have a 6-up save.
So it's a pretty easy phase.
Yes. So then we'll go into the shooting phase, in which we will have start with my scouts with snipers.
Alright.
They're going to use their sniper's special ability to shoot characters even if they're not the closest model.
Alright.
So we'll do 4 sniper shots into your Demon Prince, and then we will do 1 crack missile shot from the missile launcher, which is a tank destroying shot, into the Hellbrute.
Oh.
So we'll start with the snipers, rerolling 1s because of the Terminator Captain.
Alright.
So hitting on 3s because we didn't move, so all hit. Wounding on 5s because his toughness is higher than my strength. And 6s because of the sniper's special ability cause mortal wounds.
And a mortal wound is a wound that I can't do any kind of save against usually.
Yes.
So if he gets a mortal wound, he just takes the damage.
Move the rest up at all.
So that is 2 mortal wounds and 2 saves.
So my Demon Prince, having once been a Noise Marine himself, still retains his armor save of a 3+. So in order to get that, I need to roll the dice, and for every 3, 4, 5, or 6, he's safe. Anything below, he takes a wound.
So he takes
So
another one.
he saves 1, but he will take 1 as well.
And then we will shoot 1 shot from the rocket launcher into the Hellbrute, rerolling 1s because the Terminator Captain, hitting on 3s. Hits, wounding on 3s because I'm strength 8 and he's toughness 7. Does not wound. I will not spend a command point. Then we will shoot the Marines over here. None of their guns except for the Heavy Bolter are within range. So the Heavy Bolter is going to shoot the Noise Marine squad. The Heavy Bolter is a basic 3 shots at strength 5. So I'll be hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. So 2 hit,
Alright.
wounding on 3s, 1 wound at -1 AP.
So since he has -1 on the armor piercing value, that means my Marines can't rely on their 3+ armor save anymore, because it gets bumped down to a 4+. So now I need a 4, 5, or 6 in order to save them. Unfortunately, I rolled a 1, so that's going to be a dead Noise Marine.
Which the squad is then done shooting, so then you can shoot back with your Noise Marine ability.
My Noise Marines do have their special ability, called Music of the Apocalypse, that makes them a little trigger-happy when they die. But unfortunately, no one's in range to receive some counterfire.
Alright. So then we will go with the Devastator squad. They're going to put the 2 missile launchers into the 4-man squad, and then the 2 las cannons into the Hellbrutes. Las cannons are tank destroyers, frag missiles are squad destroyers. Now I will use the ability of my sergeant, his signum, to add 1 to the hit rolls of one of my missile launchers, which means rather than hitting on 3s, he'll hit on 2s. So he gets D6 shots with a frag missile, which I get 1 shot, get a hit on 2s, and I miss. Rerolling 1s because of the captain though, I hit. So wounding on 4s because I'm strength 4, he's toughness 4, so that's 1 save, no AP.
Alright, 3+ save. Oh.
And what is AP?
AP is armor piercing.
Okay.
So some shots have armor piercing, like he said, and it reduces your save because your armor's not enough to cover for it anymore.
Okay.
So the other D6 shots, I get 6 shots. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. All hit.
Oh, wow.
And then wounding on 4s. So that is 3 saves.
Alright.
That's 3 up.
I lose another, but the other 2 are safe.
Alright. And then the 2 las cannons will go into the Hellbrute. Now these hopefully are going to do something because that's what they're made for. So 2 shots hitting on 3s. Both hit. Wounding on 3s because he's toughness 7, I'm strength 9. 2 at -3 AP.
This can be scary. So since that's -3, his 3+ armor shell isn't good enough. I need a 6 up to save him. I don't save him.
Alright, and since they are very powerful tank-destroying weapons, they do D6 damage each. So that is 6 damage each for the shots.
So he suffered 6 out of his 8 wounds. If he suffers 2 more, he will go down.
Which is good for me. Then we will go with this Tactical Marine squad. I don't think any of them are within range. No, so then it will go over to Brant's turn.
Alright. So my squad here lost quite a few of their number. But fortunately, they're brave enough to where I won't have to take a morale check for them. So they're just going to progress as normal.
He has to do it after he
My guys
Why
move
did that
6 inches.
dice follow that character?
So I'm using that as a wound counter. You don't necessarily have to use dice, but I found it's pretty effective in keeping it around. Just so you know, he suffered 6 wounds. I like to count up and then back down.
Okay.
So
6 armor saves, leave a 4. Not that you can read it. Yes. I want one of those.
Alright. So far it's not looking too good for the Emperor's Children. Let's see if I'm in range to possibly do some damage. Looks like I am. Alright, so we're going to go into Psychic phase. My Warlord, as well as being a powerful leader, is also Psychic, so he can cast 1 Psychic power to help his allies. And the one that he's going to use is Prescience.
You want to go a little bit more in depth into the psychic abilities?
Sure. So typically at the start of the game, you pick from a list of psychic powers that you can use. And so the one that I gave him is Prescience. Prescience is really nice, it's easy to cast, as well as the fact that it also gives them +1 to their shooting, so it makes my already really good at shooting army even better.
How many do you know?
So, just looking into the Codex.
might be able to take them from multiple sources.
Prescience requires a roll of a 7 or higher to go off.
Which it does. And
Which I got
I'm
my
not
7.
close enough to deny with my psychic abilities.
So, this Marine squad is going to shoot better than they did before.
Which is not good for us Marines over here.
Not at all. So, he casted 1. He's done.
So there you go.
So now we're going to go on to the shooting phase. This is where my army tends to actually do really well. So, their guns fire 24 inches, so I'm going to measure out the units that I feel are the biggest threat.
That's why we're playing.
Very nice.
When you're playing against Eldar, that's kind of the point.
So, to start off, I'm going to have my Hellbrute fire a smoke grenade onto himself to give you a -1 to hit modifier.
Alright.
So that way you're less likely to hit him with your weapons. Next, we're going to have my leader right here fire his Sonic Blaster into your Devastator squad that caused me so much trouble.
Alright.
So he's going to hit on 3s, and because my Demon Prince is around, he's going to force them to reroll 1s. So, luckily I didn't roll any 1s. Now I need 4s, because my gun is strength 4 to your toughness 4, and if it equals, I need a roll of a 4, 5, or 6 to even hurt you.
There you go.
So, that will be 1 save.
And since he is a noise marine and they use sonic weaponry, I do not get my cover save for being on cover.
Okay. Explain the cover save. So if you're behind
Cover or on a piece of terrain, you
you get
add
an extra
Yes.
boost, but this particular ability negates that.
Yes. So I'm just back to my normal save. Rather than a 2-up, I'm now saving on a 3-up. Which I fail, so 1 guy dies. Which I will use the Armored Cherub, the little reload friend, to get destroyed instead.
And next, I'm going to have my Blastmaster fire. So the Blastmaster is a unique gun. It gets to fire at 2 separate frequencies. One's better for piercing armor, and one's better for just shooting smaller infantry units. Both of them are really long range. And like the Sonic Blasters before, they do also ignore the cover benefit that he would otherwise get. So, I'm thinking I'm going to have him try a varied frequency. So for that, I roll a dice. And I get 5 shots since I rolled a 5. So now it's going to fire a lot like a higher-powered Sonic Blaster. Hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s, thanks to my Demon Prince. So he misses. Sometimes when you miss, you just miss.
Amen.
Force wound. So, a little bit unlucky again, but this time it has a -1 on his armor value.
So I'll be saving
ignoring
4s.
covers.
So instead of 3s, I'll be saving on 4s. Which I failed, but I'm going to spend one of my command points to re-roll the dice. Which I then pass, and then because of my artifact, I get to see if I get it back on a 5 or a 6. Which I do, so I don't even spend a command.
Alright.
So how many do you have, and how do you keep track of it in the game?
So what I use is a set of dice to keep track. I have 8 command points because I am a Battle Forged battalion. You gain 3 for being Battle Forged, where your army is all the same. You know, Space Marine chapter or Hereticus chapter, and then you get 5 depending. I got 5 because of my battalion, which consists of 2 HQs and 3 troops. My 3 troops are the tacticals, 2 squads of tacticals, and 1 scout squad. So, any other shooting?
Yes, I have.
No, the good shooting is cool.
So, looks like everybody's going to be in range. So, before they start shooting, I'm going to elect to have that squad use a stratagem for one of my 3 command points. This one's called Veterans of the Long War. Pretty well, as they've battled through so many battles, they've learned to hit the opponent in the right spots. So, not only do they have a +1 to hit thanks to the Demon Prince's psychic power, they're now going to have a +1 to wound, making them even more effective at shooting. So, these 4 have Sonic Blasters at 3 shots each. So I'm going to have a total of 12 shots to fling at your Devastator squad.
Okay.
So, now hitting on 2s and rerolling the 1s thanks to the demon points, I have a really high likelihood of actually hitting.
Yeah, spike events.
Which is a good thing. I got that reroll of 1. That was a lot. Alright.
So we missed 1 out of 12, so 2 out of 12.
I went like this and I picked it up.
Not too bad.
Hang it for my next one.
I want to go get some super glue.
Well, yeah, you actually might want to get some.
So that'll be 6 saves, ignoring your cover.
Alright. And this does not have an AP to it.
It does not.
So 3 ups.
That was bad, John.
Ouch. I fail 3 saves, so 3 guys will perish because they only have 1 wound apiece. So I will take the sergeant.
I do have all my
Accidentally squish his little emblem.
set up.
And then both missile launchers.
Is pole now.
Very nice. Then I'm going to have this Blastmaster fire at a varied frequency into that same squad. So I get D6 shots for 5 again. Hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1s. Very nice. And then freeze to wound you again.
Yes.
No, that was actually already banned.
So that'll be 5, -1, also ignoring your cover.
So now I will reduce to 4 ups. Which I fell 3 of, which kills the last 2 guys in the squad.
And then 3 shots from the
Okay, so what are you going to do?
Alright, so that's a lot of dead Marines.
Yes.
This next thing, before we go on to the next phase, I'm just going to measure out again, see if I have any further opportunities to think about. So, although it is probably in poor taste for me to do so, I'm going to spend my last 2 command points to use Endless Cacophony. This is a unique stratagem to my army. And for 2 points, I get to elect a squad to shoot again, as they're stimulated by the crazy sounds of war.
Okay.
So I'm going to have this squad elect to shoot again. I'm going to have these 4 guys split fire into those guys right there. And since they're splitting their fire, I'm going to have the Blastmaster shoot your Marine squad.
Alright.
Okay, real quick though, when you are targeting characters in this game, you can target individuals, or do you have to target them as a group? Because they seem to be grouped together pretty tight.
Yeah, you have to target
What's in front of the characters.
Yeah, so
unless they have more than 10 wounds.
So the way it works is that when I'm electing to have a squad shoot another squad, I can't just say I'm going to have these guys focus fire into that missile launcher. I have to shoot the squad as a whole.
Okay, and just hope that it takes out enough to, because he gets to choose who dies. That way he can keep his strongest attackers alive the longest.
Yes.
Okay, that seems.
Now, because I do have snipers, I can target characters even if they're not the closest.
Yeah, because characters.
Snipers
That's the
go
sniper
against that
only
rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're going to have 12 shots go into those scouts.
Okay, what does it do?
So these ones are going to be hitting on 2s.
This is in the scouts, right?
Yes.
Alright.
Rerolling 1s. All hit. And now they're going to need 3s. So that was a very good round of shooting. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9 ignoring cover saves.
So they do have camo cloaks, but since he ignores my cover save, my camo cloaks do not add to my save. So I'll be saving on 4s rather than 2s because of my camo cloaks.
Cut.
Yes. Alright, so I have 9 saves to make at 4.
Yep. Scouts don't have as good of armor.
No, but I only failed 3. So all but 2 scouts die. So I will kill 1 sniper, 2, and I will kill the rocket launcher, and 1 sniper. So 2 snipers and a rocket launcher will perish.
Alright. Next, I'm going to have the Blastmaster fire a varied frequency again. For 4 shots this time.
1, 2.
So 2s. All hit. And veterans is still in play, so it's going to be 3s to wound you. So that'll be 3, -1.
So I have normally a 3-up save, and I will be then reduced down to my 4-up save. So 2 Marines die.
Excellent.
I think I understand it when you say your 4 up save. So if you like roll a 4 or better,
yeah.
you save on the roll.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd lock down this battle tank now.
So,
Which means it'll
Is that as you shoot? Is that the end of your turn?
yep, I am now out of command points, unfortunately, but I'd say it was worth the investment. I took down a whole squad, whittled down another squad, and killed 2 guys from another. So my Noise Marines more than did what they needed to.
So, normally I would roll a leadership, but since he only killed 3 and my leadership is 8, I would have to roll a 9 on a 6-sided dice. Well, I'll have to roll a 7 because you have to beat the leadership. So, I guess on a 6, one of them can run.
Yeah.
Because 6 plus 3 equals 9, their only leadership 8, so...
So it's very unlikely, but the chance is there.
Nope, they do not run.
Alright.
Alright, so now it's my turn, so I'll go into my movement phase, in which my Marines will move 6, which is their base movement. So since that is a heavy weapon, since it has moved, it is now at a -1 to hit.
Which is a little more helpful for me, especially in trying to survive against the crazy onslaught.
I'm higher than you, so 1.
1 with a -2.
Okay, so -2, so 5 up either way. Nope, so didn't get it. Damage.
1.
And you have to keep them within 2 inches of each other to keep in unit coherence.
Like a champ.
So the tactical squad has moved. I will then move the sanguinary apothecary.
Alright.
And then we will move this squad forward, which the heavy bolter will also be at a -1 because it is a heavy weapon.
Seems I've set off the alarms.
You can still shoot it. It's just -1.
Yes, you have.
Distance though.
Hey, what's up?
Okay.
Librarian will then move 6 inches this way. Terminator Captain, since he is wearing Cataphracti rather than normal Terminator armor, instead of moving 5, he'll only move 4 inches.
So he's extra slow.
But his saves are better. And then that is it. So I will go then into my psychic phase, in which he will then again try to cast Shield of Sanguinius on my my Space Marines. So it takes a 6. I got a 7. Now he is within 24 inches, are you?
I am not, so I
you
can't do
cannot
anything
deny.
about it.
So then they now have Shield of Sanguinius. And then I will see if I'm within 18 inches to cast Smite. Which I am indeed within 18 inches.
Oh no.
So Smite is a psychic ability that all psychos have. It's a warp charge 5, so you have to beat a 5 on 2 dice, which I do on a 6, and he's not within range to deny it, so it does D3 mortal wounds. Does 2 mortal wounds.
Alright, that's enough to take him out. Now I'm going to roll to see if he explodes. On a 6, his fuel will burst and catch a flame. But he does not.
Alright.
So my big guy is down.
Okay. Toughness is.
Okay. I'll then go into my shooting phase, in which I'll put both snipers into Demon Prince again.
Alright.
They will be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Okay. Wounding on 5s, 6s cause mortal wounds. So 1 save.
Alright.
No AP.
3+ armor. He is safe.
Alright.
6 up tape.
He swats the
And
bullets
how much
away.
damage?
So he's gonna fire his Storm Bolter. It's rapid fire 2, but I'm not within the half range because it is range 24. To get rapid fire, you have to be within 12 inches. So 2 shots hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
Box on D.
So they hit. Toughness 4, Strength 4, so 4s. No save.
Okay.
Okay. Then we will have the heavy bolter from this squad shoot into the 2-man squad. It is at -1 to hit, so it's hitting on 4s, but the Terminator Captain's within 6 inches, so he rerolls 1s. Well,
Unfortunately, he didn't get any. But,
Okay.
3s.
Okay, I have
oh
Wounds.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna spend a command point to see if I wound. I do wound,
no. Alright.
and do I get it back? No, so I lose command
That
point.
back.
So I need a 4+ armor since your armor piercing wound.
Because you can't get through there.
Oh, I lose another Noise Marine.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
So what we'll do is take out this guy.
And then we will have 3 bolt guns, which are the basic Space Marine guns, into
You gotta be
the last sergeant.
one of those things you gotta really plan on.
3s, 4s,
Kill my box.
1.
Alright, 1 3-up save. Can he make it? He does not.
He does not, sadly. But since you have your ability, you can then shoot.
Noise Marines are pretty crazy individuals. They like to pull the trigger when they die, so we'll see if they get so lucky.
Well, where are you charging?
So what I'm thinking is I'm going to finish off another squad
3 meltas.
using this ability. So the Noise Champion firing a Sonic Blaster into your scouts. I need 3s to hit.
That's a dead. Unless you make
3 rolling 1s.
Yes.
Sometimes when you miss, you miss. And
It's a melting
4s.
gun, so yes.
That'll be 2, ignoring cover saves.
2 4-ups, 1 more dies.
And then the Blast Master, I'll fire at a single frequency this time,
Okay, 3
meaning I get
missiles.
only D3.
You know what? I'm
So
gonna
for a
do-
D3, you roll a die, and then divide that number by 2, so I got 2. So now I get 1 shot,
Okay, D6 shots.
but 3s to hit.
3, 4, 5, 6,
And now, since I am strength 8, that doubles his toughness, so I get to wound him on 2. The anti-tank round hits, it's -2 AP and ignores your cover.
So 6-up save. Nope, he dies.
So we traded a squad for a squad.
Yep. And then I forgot to do something during my movement phase, so I'm gonna ask if Grant is okay if I do it.
This is a friendly game, so sure.
So on my Sanguinary Apothecary will then try to revive one of his fallen teammates on a 4+. On a 2+, on anything below a 4, he can't do anything else except recover the Gene Seed from the dead Space Marine. So he brings 1 back. So 1 just spawns back.
Which means I have to keep killing him to death over and over.
Yep. Killing him to death.
Yep.
That same guy's probably gonna sit there and keep dying.
Yep.
So, this squad will then go next. Jumping my librarian along. Let's see. All of their bolt guns can hit. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots with bolt guns. And then 1... Oh no, that's... Never mind. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. 2 1s. Alright, all hit.
Nice.
Wounding on 4s. That will be 4 wounds.
Ooh.
No AP.
But you're all going
Nice.
to be
3 plus
spread around
armor.
that side of them.
I lose 1.
You set them.
Alright.
You set them up top on the shelf. And
So then my multi-melta, the bigger version, can then hit. So it only gets 1 shot at -1 because he moved. So it's hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s because the Terminator Captain.
Spooky gun.
Nope.
Oh.
I'm gonna spend a command point.
Oh no.
No. Do I get it back?
Yep.
No. So I'm down to 6.
That would have instantly fried one of my guys.
Yes. It's a tank destroying a weapon I brought to destroy Marines. Not my smartest idea. And then that would be the end of my turn.
Alright, so now that your squad's done shooting, I'm going to have him shoot back into him.
Alright.
So maybe I can kill that one guy again.
Let's see.
Rerolling 1s. And Veterans of the Long War is no longer in play, so I'll need 4s. So, 1 save. Will I kill the guy? I do! I killed that guy again.
So he dies yet again.
Alright.
now
So,
he cannot charge.
I didn't suffer enough casualties to force a morale check. So, we'll just go on into my turn.
No, you can't put it in there. Nope, he can't charge. You're gonna have to try and kill him with everything else. Okay. I don't think you have anything else in
I feel like I may have chosen too many models.
Okay.
Possibly have.
I feel like I'm at an unfair advantage.
So, at the end of my movement phase, now my reinforcements are going to deep strike in.
11 to get in there. Because that side of the
So,
base
the way that deep strikes work in Warhammer 40k is it allows you to place your guys on the battlefield anywhere that's more than 9 inches away from an enemy unit. That's one thing I can do is measure that out.
Nope, didn't make it. Okay. There's no downside to it.
Here comes the pain.
The pain trains are coming.
the Terminators, which is the main reason I bought the multi-meltas and the multi-gun.
Aren't you glad that they survived?
Oh yeah,
to this
he just
point?
killed that one guy again.
Six of them.
He's died twice now.
Okay, so 18.
Those guys just essentially just got airdropped in.
-1 hit by
Pretty much, and they are my
The
most,
upgraded version.
they are my veterans. They are the elite of my army. So they get the honor of wearing enhanced armor. That gives them a better armor save than anybody else in my army.
So 5 to hit.
Which was already good, from my
The
understanding.
reason is
Yes, it
Oh, yeah.
is. So these guys are even harder to take down.
And they have 2 wounds each rather than 1.
Yep, they're extra tough. And they're even better in close combat as well, so they're a very good all-rounder unit.
close combat, they're -1 to
So,
Hence why I bought the captain.
next, I'm going to go into my Psychic phase, and he's going to attempt to cast Prescience on them.
Alright. I'm not within range to deny.
Hold up.
So Prescience does go off.
So the Terminators are now hitting on 2s.
Yes, they are. It's going to be a really tasty shooting phase. So, first things first, we're actually going to start with these good, brand new Terminators that just came onto the field. So what they have is a weapon called a Combi Plasma. It fuses anti-infantry weaponry with the deadliness of plasma shooting.
And what does that mean as far as like the dice is concerned? Like what would it hit on?
So, with combi weapons, you can choose to fire both ends, which causes a lot of recoil, so that will force a -1. If I choose to have them just fire the plasma, which is the anti-tank shot, it will be hitting up normally on 2s, because I used that psychic power.
So what does it do?
Okay, so you essentially have a 66% chance to hit. Actually, more than that, because you have an 80%. No, almost 80% chance.
Almost. But the good benefit that's coming out of this is that since I did Prescience on them, that -1 I would normally get is just going to make them shoot like they normally would, so I'm going to go ahead and have them go nuts.
And he is then within double tap range of his plasmas, which means they get 2 shots each plasma.
And they also get 2 shots each for the bolt guns as well, so
That squad's gonna get lit up.
they're going to unload a ton of shots.
This is why I should have bought my Terminators.
So, since I'm going to be firing both ends, here's the plasma. They need 3s to hit, rerolling 1s.
Oh, the plasmas overcharged.
They are not. So what you can do is you can overcharge the weapon to make it a little stronger and cause more damage, but since I'm just shooting Marines, I don't want to risk one of my Terminators exploding and dying due to his gun.
And if they explode and die, would that cause damage to your nearby units as well?
No.
Unfortunately, well, fortunately actually,
I was gonna say, unfortunately.
no. So that would be 2 at -3.
So normally, at -3, I would only have a 6-up save, because -3 plus 3 equals 6. But since I have the Shield of Sanguinius psychic power, I am only at a 5-up. So I have a better chance of surviving, which it fries 2 anyway.
Very nice.
Then you should have done them first.
Next, I'm going to fire 10 more shots of
Now on,
Bolter.
they need to go first. Yes, because
Rerolling 1s.
by doing this,
Oh, thank you.
if they have that special rule,
Alright.
I can
So turn that around a bit.
2 command point retaliation.
Strength 4 to your toughness 4, so I'll need 4 to win.
They got
So, surprisingly, those wounded better than the plasma. 6 saves, no AP.
So 3 up,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
3 more die. So I've lost 5 so far. Gonna take the sergeants and the other bolter.
Alright, next we're going to have the Noise Marine squad open up into
Do you
you.
have a 2-up weapon skill? Wow, that's impressive.
No, it's a 3-up, so they don't.
There you go.
So, 9 shots from the Noise Marine squad going into that same Marine squad.
Alright.
So here on these,
Strength.
Rerolling 1s.
So 6 is to wound.
and if they wound, we
Well, it does
4s to win.
If they don't,
So that'll be 2 saves, and you'll recover, if you have it.
3 up. Save.
Alright. Next, we'll do the single frequency Blastmaster.
once again,
So
4 is to hit.
D3 shots. I get 3 this time. 3s to hit, rerolling 1s,
Okay.
no, strength is 4.
and then 2s to
Okay,
win.
then it's 3 is to wound.
So that'll be 2 at -2.
Which would put me at a 5 up anyway. So 2 more die.
No, it's 5. Okay. Because you're... I'm all not twice.
Alright.
18?
So now,
Okay.
we're going to do something a little risky. We're going to go into the assault phase. So even in the battlefields of the 41st millennium, melee is still something to be scared of.
Indeed.
So, since I have to deep strike more than 9 inches away, my unit has to get at least an inch within the opponent in order to assault them. So that means I need to roll a 9 in order to get into base contact with them.
Okay, so you pretty much want to get in their face with an assault. How many phases are in this game? Because you said there's the movement, then you have an
The
attack,
psychic.
the psychic,
The movement, psychic,
attack, and
shooting
assault?
phase, assault phase,
Shooting and assault.
shooting and assault. And then technically before the assault you have the charge phase, and then the assault phase, and then the morale phase.
Okay.
So there's a lot of phases, but they kind of are easily put
Well,
together.
they seem pretty fluid though. It's not
Yeah.
like one can be skipped.
Yeah. So since he is now charging me, I do get Overwatch. So both of these guys get to shoot, but they only can hit on 6s. Because they're just, now their armies are running towards them, so now they're terrified, so I get 1 shot with each guy, but I have to roll him separately because he's within double, what my family likes to call double crispy range, where you roll 2d6 and pick the highest for the damage. She is not, though. So, double crispy range guy, misses.
This is a really scary time for any charging unit.
Normal guy, no. But he is within the 6 inches, so he gets to re-roll it. He does hit.
Oh man.
So he gets to wound on anything but a 1 because it's strength 8 compared to his toughness 4. So it wounds at -4.
So that has a -4 modifier. So normally none of my units would be able to pretty well take a save against that. These guys, thanks to their bulky armor, have a 5+ invulnerable save.
Just like my shield thing.
So on a 5 up, they'll save.
Which he doesn't, so it does d6 damage. It does 3 damage.
That will kill one of my guys just outright. So let's see if they make it. Was it in
That
vain?
seems rather fortuitous, being a free attack.
Yeah.
A little bit, especially when it's heavy weapons like that. It's always a risk.
Okay.
They did not make it.
No, I don't get your saves in close combat.
Alright. So now we go into the morale phase,
Okay.
which they lost, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Marines. So,
Okay.
on a 2, no, 1 automatically runs, and then on a 2, another one would run. Anything above a 2, which they do, but since I'm Space Marine, I know no fear.
What's the toughness on the
He
barrel?
gets a reroll for
He
it.
still runs.
So it's not a total loss that my guys didn't make it in, but I still lost to Terminator.
Okay.
Makes me sad.
Which in this game, Terminators are expensive, so...
Yep. But I think I've proven that although you outnumbered me,
Oh yeah,
I
well,
got the strength.
I brought a bunch of tactical Marines, you bought Terminators.
That is true.
So, my turn?
Yep, goes on over to you. Show me the pain. So his captain's really good in close combat, and playing as Blood Angels, he gets a bonus whenever he gets into assault. So naturally, his really smashy captain's going to try and get in there with my Terminators.
Yes, indeed, we are. He's gonna advance over there.
Their game is cool.
An extra 4 inches, so he adds 4 inches to his movement, but he can't shoot and or charge. Okay, and then he's just gonna stay there, so we're gonna go into Psychic phase. He is gonna cast Shield of Sanguinius on himself.
And this time I am in range to deny.
Yes, so on a 6, it goes off, which I'd barely get do you want me to reroll?
No, that's fine.
So I get it off on a 6.
Okay, I'm actually okay with you having that ability. So
Alright,
I'm more prepared for if you're going to
I'm
get
gonna
smite.
smite
That's what I thought.
Terminators on a 7.
Alright, so I need to get an 8 or higher on 2 dice in order to stop this. Which I do with a 9.
So my psychic power does not go off.
My Terminators are protected.
So we will go into the psychic phase, the shooting phase. My captain is indeed within 12 inches to get his double tap. So instead of getting 2 shots, he now gets 4 shots.
Bring it on.
Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. All hit. Wounding on 4s, because strength 4, toughness 4. 2 wounds.
Alright, I have a 2+ armor save thanks to their extra bulky armor. But they make both.
Alright, then I have my Librarian with his plasma pistol, who is going to overcharge it. So if I roll a 1, he will explode. But since I have my captain who re-rolls 1s, he has a better chance of surviving. So he's sitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, when he misses anyone.
Excellent.
But he doesn't explode. So then I will fire my tacticals in there, which none of them are within rapid fire. So we got 3 bolt gunshots, re-rolling because of captain. Oh, still misses. So 4s. Yeah. 2 saves.
Alright, 2 ups. Safe.
Alright, 3 heavy bolter shots. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Okay. And then 3s, because I'm strength 5. Oh no! No, I'm going to spend a command point. No. Do I get it back? No. So I'm down to 5. That was unfortunate. So we're going to go into the assault phase. Alright. He's going to charge his Terminators.
Alright. So now I'm going to take a risk, and I am going to have them fire their plasma section overcharged. So on ones they will explode. However, for every 6 I get, it's going to be a good chance of hurting him. And thanks to the Demon Prince being right there, they do get a chance to reroll that 1. So hopefully he don't roll another one. And he doesn't.
So 1 hit.
So I got that 1.
Well, you're
2s to wound because it's strength 8. Oh, they missed
Yeah,
it.
they missed it. Are they going to fire their bolt guns as well?
But I'll go ahead and have them do that.
okay.
So none.
Alright.
They missed
I'm going to
with
need
all
a
their
6 to
weapons.
get in.
He is
I got an
in.
8. So he would just go right up to there. And then we will go into the melee
he's
phase.
hugging.
Yes.
These guys.
He's going to get 4 attacks for being a Terminator captain. He's got a weapon skill of 2, so he's hitting on 2s, but his hammer is -1.
Alright, explain weapon skill real quick.
So
for
weapon
viewers.
skill is how easy it is for them to use a melee weapon.
Roger.
They're more trained in it, they're more ready to go.
This is from him.
It's the same kind of thing as ballistic skill.
And the stat, I assume, can be found in that
Yes.
300-page rulebook that you have.
It does indeed. The captain in Cataphracti is right there. It mentions his movement speed, which is only 4 inches. His weapon skill is a 2-up.
Okay.
His ballistic skill is a 2-up. Strength, toughness, 6 wounds.
Okay, great. So all of these pieces have stats in that book.
Yes.
And based on the model build with the weapons and everything is
Yes.
what they're wielding. So what they are actually holding on their sculpt is what they're actually bringing to the
Yes.
table. I like that.
Yes.
It keeps things really easy.
So, but since he does have a Thunder Hammer, which is a big hammer, he is at -1 to hit because it's unwieldy. So instead of hitting on 2s, he's hitting on 3s. But he's still re-rolling his 1s because of being a captain. All hit.
This is where things get scary.
So since I'm now strength 8, because it's ×2, I then wound him on 2s. Which I get 3 at -3. So he's got to take his 5 up in down.
5 up and vulnerable save. Can they make it? 2 of them make it.
Alright, and it does 3 damage instantly.
Alright, so now I'm going to pick which units to take off. I'm going to keep the leader of the squad, and I'll just take this guy off right here.
Alright. Then you get to consolidate and fight me.
So, all of my Chaos Space Marines have faced the likes of these guys before. And because of that, if they roll a 6 on their to-hit rolls, they get extra attacks as they fight in a righteous fury against the Emperor. So, every Terminator has 2 attacks, except the leader, he's going to have 3. But from there, I have to look into the weapons and see what they got. These 2 guys have a different type of power fist called a chain fist. It's extra good at cutting through armor. Whereas this guy has a power fist, which, while good at cutting through armor, isn't quite the same. So I'm going to roll those guys separately from him. Since I did prescience on the squad last turn, instead of hitting on 4s with their power fists like they normally would, they're now going to be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Which is a good thing. Oh, look at that. 2 6s.
So 2 extra attacks.
That's good.
So now, it doubles their strength, which also doubles makes his toughness half of what their strength is, so now they'll be wounding him on 2s.
So my psychic abilities are done.
So that'll be 5 of your 3+ invulnerable saves you guys
Yes,
take.
because he's got Cataphracti and a powerful Iron Halo, which then boosts up his shield.
Okay.
Which the Iron Halo is symbolized by that.
All 3 of those into her. The big gun.
So let's see if I hurt him.
Oh!
That is
All
the worst
fails.
possible roll. Oh, well.
Okay.
Chain fists. They
Automatic
just
2 damage.
Automatic 2 damage, so he
that's-
suffered 10 right there.
Yep, he dies. But I will use a stratagem
To this spot.
Oh no.
called, if I can find it,
Three hits from the excerpt.
So,
So you're saying that your misfortune with the dice can be negated by a
Yes.
get out of jail free card.
which is only in death does duty end.
So
Use this stratagem when he dies. Before he dies, he gets to attack again before he finally succumbs to his wounds.
Okay, so he just gets one more last stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since my Vitus Verte, which my
And-
librarian has,
For our viewers, let's see if I can focus this on there.
Strength 8, toughness,
There you go.
flamers.
I am not.
Okay.
it will cost me 2 command points, but on a 5-up, I can gain 1 of those points back.
And
Which
you-
I do. So I only spend 1, so I still have 4 command points.
Okay.
But then I'm going to give him an extra buff
2s with reroll.
with another stratagem, which then is called...
Everything wounds.
And these stratagems, are they just a whole bunch of things you already have on the outside, or do you have to select them before starting the game?
They are just set. Every codex, so every army has a set of stratagems. So you can bring all of them. I just pick the ones that I'm able to actually use.
Okay, but they require command points to use.
Yes. So I will then use Red Rampage, which use the stratagem in any fight phase, add D3 to the additional attacks.
Ooh.
And on a 5-up, I gain that back as well to see if I spend it. I do not.
Alright.
Okay, so 3.
So he gets an additional D3 added to his already set 4. So he gets an extra attack. Because you divide it by 2, which means... So he gets 5 attacks now.
My entropy cannon.
Very
Hitting on
scary.
3s, rerolling 1s. It's all hit.
Ooh, wounding me on 2s.
Yep.
Okay, 3s.
That is 4 saves.
Alright, if I miss 3 of these, my Terminators will be gone. I saved 2, so I have 1 left.
Yep. And then he will then also be removed.
I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the most interesting part of this game so far.
It
Oh,
was
definitely. I didn't want him to die without doing much.
And then at the end of it, he gets to consolidate 3 inches towards the closest enemy unit, which may or may not be good for him.
May or may not. Alright, then it will go into the morale phase.
1.
But you are a strong enough fighter to not be terrified of losing 4 of your men. So then it'll go into your phase.
3 damage.
Actually, on the contrary, I've only got a leadership of 9, so if I roll a 6, he will run away.
Wow.
He's fine though.
Okay, so
Fair
let
enough.
them go pop, pop, pop.
Alright,
Comes off
so
here.
now it goes into my phase again. My Demon Prince is pretty
Right
fast,
here,
so he's going to
all
move
these
8 inches
guys are
forward.
double tapping plasma into your
I had to make sure before he died he did something.
Well, yeah, of course. It's a strategy game, so
Yeah, crippled part of his arm.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So now I'm going to have this guy personally hunt his other character.
I don't like that. He doesn't have any saves. Well, any good
That's
saves.
a miss. That's a reroll.
Alright, we're going to jump over to Psychic phase.
Okay, one of them just died.
I'm going to give that squad prescience.
I'm going to attempt to deny because of my psychic powers.
Yes, they've exploded on
I get it with a 7.
And I am within half range of the ability, which gives my psychic hood, which is on my librarian, an additional 1 to my
Deny the witch.
deny.
and you have to just beat his roll to deny
Yes.
it. Okay.
So he got a 7. I gotta get
A 7 or more.
a 7 or more.
Okay. So it's
I get a 7 plus 1, which equals 8, so I deny it.
Alright, he cancels out my spell. Alright. So, we'll go right to shooting phase then.
at -3.
Okay, so I'm going to start with my Noise Marines shooting into your Marines there.
Okay, so 4 damage. Beautiful.
So we'll have 3s to hit, rerolling 1s.
Okay.
Very nice. 4s to wound.
I don't think he has range.
So you're looking at 3 saves on that tactical squad.
3 3s.
This guy has
1 die.
pistol.
And next, I'm going to fire a varied frequency into him.
Alright.
So that'll be 6 shots.
Okay, so he's shooting his gun.
3s, rerolling 1s.
Oh, wait.
No ones.
Those guys.
And 4s to wound. So that'll be 2 at -1.
So I'll go up to a 4-up save, and I save both,
Oh, wow.
And hit them.
which is very lucky.
Very lucky indeed. Next, he's going to rapid
He's got a
fire
unique weapon.
his plasma into them.
Alright.
Not overcharged, though.
Mortarian. It's called the Lantern. So, first I got to hit
Both
with
hit.
it.
Oh,
Hits on
one
2 and
wounded.
rolls 1.
it's only strength 7.
Oh, yes.
Hit.
Well, that wasn't the best shooting phase I've had this game. But
Wasn't the worst.
Okay, so
let's get into the assault phase.
Alright.
So, my Terminator is obviously going to be assaulting him.
Alright, bolt pistol shot. Misses.
Okay, so 2s.
That dice is cocked, so I'm going to reroll it, so it's more fair.
1 against
There we
him.
Oh
go.
yeah, he definitely makes it.
Let's see if what my Demon Prince needs.
3 damage.
So he's about 7 away. He's going to need a 6.
No.
You want to try?
3 damage on 1.
Yeah, I'll go for it.
So we'll start with the heavy bolter.
And against
Rerolling
him.
1s because the cap. Oh no, captain's dead.
That is a
Whoops.
wound as well.
And then we get 4 bolt gunshot.
Yep.
All miss.
Okay.
Then the grab pistol from the sergeant misses.
Alright. Can my Demon Prince make it in? He does. Exactly what he needed.
There we go.
So he's ready to tear some faces up. So we'll start with my Demon Prince. Now, if we look into the Codex, he has a number of options that he can take for his close combat weapons. For the sake of this game, I gave him a Demonic Axe, as well as Malefic Talons.
Okay.
So naturally, he has 4 attacks, and then he'll get to do another attack with his Malefic Talons afterwards. So his weapon skill is naturally a 2+, but because he has his Demonic Axe, it forces a -1 while increasing his strength. So he's hitting on 3s, but rerolling 1s, so he still has a really good chance to hit. And just like the units before, he despises the Emperor and everything he stands for, so each 6 turns into an extra attack.
Salute the tax. This is gonna hurt.
He has strength 8 to their toughness 4, so he's going to be chopping them up on 2s. So, that'll be, looks like 6, -3 to your save.
6 6-ups. Hey, look! All 4 die. I did make 2 saves, but there was only 4 left. So, they got smashed.
And he's going to consolidate closer to that Terminator.
And then, actually, I will spend 2 command points to use a stratagem that is an interrupt stratagem, counter-offensive. So it costs 2 points, let's see if I get one of them back because of my artifact. Or not, so I drop down to 2 command points, which makes him be able to go before he goes.
11.
So he will get... Oh, that's the wrong person. Whoops. He will get 4 attacks because of his chain sword. Hitting on 3s, 1 miss, wounding on 4s.
Actually, as a Blood Angel, doesn't he get
Oh
+1?
yes, he does get +1, so he's wounding on 3s, so that's 2. Thank you.
No problem.
The thirst for blood cannot be satiated.
Alright, so I needed to make 2.
Yep.
Alright, 2 2+ saves. Oh, he takes 1, but he's got 1 wound left
Oh, that's right.
Before I die.
before he dies. But we'll see what happens.
Well, no, basically,
So, I've got 3 attacks with my Power Fist. I was unable to get Prescience off on any of my units this turn. So he's now going to be hitting on 4s instead of the 3s like it was last turn. But 6s still produce an extra attack, which I got none of.
But you got 2 hits.
And 2s to wounds. So that'll be 2, -3.
So 2 6-ups. Both fail. 2d3 damage.
Pin hit.
That'll be, looks like 3 damage.
He was actually still alive with 1 wound.
There you go.
So we go.
So now it goes right on over to you. You have your 2 last guys.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna start with.
I will move him,
He takes a single mortal wound.
and then I'll go into Psychic Phase. I'm going to smite
No.
the Terminator, warp charge of 5.
Oh no, he
I
perils.
peril. So I'm going to spend a command point, so I'll actually keep that there. Reroll 1 of the
No
dice,
save allowed. Unless he has a.
which I don't peril, but I don't get it off. On a 5 up, I gain it back.
Okay, rewind. Peril. What does that mean? You roll 2 1s.
When you roll 2 1s or 2 6s, your psychic gets overwhelmed with the power of the Immaterium, the warp, which is where they get their psychic powers from.
Okay.
So they suffer wounds because it kind of fries their brain.
Oh, that's not good.
No, so that's why we rolled it, so,
So
it
it's
doesn't
like
suffer
it was
anymore.
like a critical miss essentially.
Yes.
But okay, peril is a critical miss. Excellent.
So, since that didn't work, he will then cast Shieldless Hand Gwinius on himself, which is, of course, yet again a warp charge of 6, which I get on a 7.
I will try to deny it.
If you beat a 7, you deny it, which you do not. So he yet again gets Shieldless Hand Gwinius.
Alright.
So shooting phase, he's going to shoot his bolt pistol into the Terminator. 1 shot, hitting on 3s.
Kill shot.
It hits. Winning on 4s. It wounds. He
Okay,
lives.
wasn't a kill shot.
Then the Librarian's going to shoot his plasma pistol into the Noise Marines.
Noise Marines.
1 shot, hits,
Oh.
does not wound, because it was not overcharged. So I will then go into the charge phase, and all he's going to do is just charge into him. He doesn't get any overwatch because he's in melee combat. So it will then start with my Librarian, which my Librarian gets 3 attacks, hitting on 3s.
And outside, the other one's outside.
Okay, so 2 hits. He is strength 5 because of his axe. So,
And then he has that bloodlust.
yes, so wounding on 3s, and because he has his bloodlust, he wounds on 2s.
Okay. So these guys are going to.
So that is 2 -2 saves, so 4s.
Alright. Can I make 2 4-ups? I make none. He is
he
1
is
dead Terminator.
And then it'll go right back to your turn.
Alright.
You will consolidate 3 inches.
So, we're gonna get my Noise Marines on up there. Tightening the noose at this point.
We will
Now-
live.
Real quick question about like the terrain on here. Does any of that matter? Like, does the water slow them down? I mean, obviously the trees probably hinder movement, but stuff
It
like
depends
that.
on who you play with. Some people will be more liberal with terrain, so like you said, water will slow you down. But since this is just a basic game, we're just counting it as normal terrain. So you can just move across it, move through it, just as easily as anything else.
Okay.
And
Sounds
thankfully,
great.
in most instances, you don't have to worry about terrain messing with you unless they have specific rules for themselves.
Yes, which I believe water does not.
Yeah, I didn't want to like make this tutorial more difficult than it already was, but it was a legitimate question I had.
And definitely a good one. Alright. Next, my Demon Prince is going to come over this way
Okay,
just
and
a
there are
little bit.
20 of them. So they have +1 to hit rolls. So they hit on.
Yeah, these guys were.
That's actually a good thing he has 4 wounds, because you didn't.
Next, we're going to go into Psychic Phase. I'm going to attempt to smite your Apothecary.
Alright.
So I rolled a 6.
So I get a +1 yet again, because I'm within half range. So I need to get a 6 or higher.
And you
I get
denied
a
it.
12. So, no you do not.
No Psychic for me. Alright, so then we'll go into the shooting phase.
Uh-oh.
So these Noise Marines are going to try and weaken him down just a little bit.
Sadly, characters can no longer block characters. Which is a sad day.
So that'll be 9 shots. Looks like I'm out of range for rerolls, but that should be fine. So that'll be 4s to wound. So that'll be 2 saves for your Librarian.
So he's got a 3-up normal, so and he doesn't get cover bonus, so he's just 2 3-ups. Fails both, so he takes 2 wounds, so he goes down to 2.
And although they moved, I'm going to have him use the single frequency, which is heavy. So he gets D3 shots. I rolled a 1. So he's going to be hitting on 4s with it. So he'll be lucky if he hits, but it will be good if he does so. He misses. But I have one more trick up my sleeve. Now that you're actually closer, the leader of the squad can use his Doom Siren. It's a really nice gun. It auto hits, and it does pretty good for the armor piercing value. So that's D6 automatic hits. 3. And a strength 5 to his toughness 4, so I'm going to need 3s to wound. So that'll be 3 at -2.
So that'd be 3 5-ups. Which I fell 1. 1 damage?
Yep.
So go down to my last wounds. So I got 2 1 wounds.
Alright, so now I got nothing left to shoot. So I'm going to have my Demon Prince assault your Sanguinary Novitiate and your Librarian at the same time.
Alright, so the bolt pistol misses, and we're going to take a risk and overcharge Plasma Shot. Which he then explodes himself.
4 damage.
Oh no!
So you're up to need,
So there's that. I just killed myself. It's kind of like your 1 2-minute last game.
How did that happen?
So I rolled a 1, and when you overcharge a plasma weapon, if you roll a 1, the model is instantly slain. And I couldn't re-roll it.
That's why
so he
that's
just
a gamble.
He blew up.
Overcharging is a big gamble then.
Yes. But his Terminator did it once, and, you know, actually pretty much won in the game. So, because I couldn't then charge him, he just blew himself up instead of letting me kill him.
Oh yeah.
The
So
hero.
it can be a good trolling tactic sometimes.
True.
Alright,
So you obviously make the charge.
Yep, especially when I roll a 10.
The
So,
Noise Marine's gonna charge. Give him some assistance just in case.
you know what? Sure, we'll have the Noise Marines run on in too. With a 7, I believe they
I
should
believe
make it.
that's it, yeah.
Yep, they're in. So, I think first things first, we'll start with a Demon Prince. He's got his 4 attacks.
Alright,
But-
and it's additional just in case.
Yeah, and one thing I actually forgot about was his Warlord trait. He's actually suffered 2 wounds, so he gets to add those 2 to his attacks characteristic. I
A
swear I
little
forget
sanguinary
Warlord.
apothecary
That really tried.
that really did try.
So he's going to be hitting on 3s with his axe.
That's what I gotta remember to do.
Rerolling 1s. And he rolled 2 6s.
No, unless it's supposed to do it, you can't do that.
So that'll be that many attacks.
Ouch.
2s to wound. So you're looking at 2, 4, and 6. Once again, -3 on your one guy.
Well,
6 up. Oh look, I died.
the screamers.
So that is the end of the game, as Brant as the victor.
Downstairs. Okay.
Okay, and that was your Warhammer 40K tutorial brought to you by Brant and Hunter. Brant, of course, being the winner.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Come back. So, tell us a little bit about the highlights of the game.
Well, I'd have to say the definite point where things just couldn't have gone worse for Hunter was when he had to make those 5 saves and they were all below what he needed. I was really scared of that captain actually coming in and just wrecking my whole army, and had he survived, he probably would have, so that was definitely a turning point for the battle.
So, thoughts watching all of those dice face 1s and 2s?
Not much to say. Sadness, more sadness, and a lot of sadness.
Wait a second, no.
I think he's happy.
That was your Warlord trait.
All right. Anything else? Any other key factors to the game besides the turmoil that took place in center field?
I killed your Warlord.
It was definitely intimidating in the beginning because he outnumbered me close to 2 to 1, and I'm just thankful that my guys, I feel like it was a good showing of how the game can really just
Go either way.
go either way depending on how the dice rolls and also what characters you bring in particular.
Okay, so what I took away from it, never playing the game before ever, was that there is a lot of tactic involved with troop placement, but it all comes down to the dice, how the dice roll. Is you counter argument to that, or is that pretty much true?
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. I mean, you can have the best tactics in the world, and if you're rolling 1s and 2s when you need 3s for something, it will not ever happen.
Yeah, like this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many dice did you have to roll above a 2?
5.
And did you succeed on any of them?
Nope. 1s and 2s on 5 different dice.
Those are Vegas odds if I've ever seen them. Anyway, I'm Aaron here at the End Zone Hobby Center in Clearfield, Utah with Brent and Hunter, bringing you this 40K tutorial. Peace.